Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we are looking at a stack of research that, frankly, upends a lot of what we thought we knew about vertebrate physiology.
It really does.
We're talking about a genuine biological singularity, the Charmander genus.
Indeed. For years, the abilities of this particular line they were dismissed as folklore, pure speculation.
Right.
But the hard data we've synthesized now, it reveals an animal that is just. It's a masterpiece of evolutionary engineering. It's running an internal combustion engine, for starters.
A continuous one at that. And that's the mission for today's deep dive, isn't it? To get past that easy label of magic and dig into the actual science.
Exactly. Endothermic pyrogenesis, rapid skeletal restructuring. We're going to connect these incredible traits back to mechanisms we already see in nature.
Just pushed to the absolute extreme. So we'll look at the three phases: the juvenile Charmander, the aggressive Charmeleon, and then the apex Charizard.
And we have to start with the juvenile, with the Charmander. Its whole life, its entire biology, hinges on that continuous combustion organ at the tip of its tail.
And this isn't just some kind of biological lantern. You're saying it's the creature's core furnace.
It's the furnace. And what's so fascinating is that the chemistry behind it, it's not totally alien to us. You've drawn a parallel to the bombardier beetle, which is it's a tiny insect.
Right. Brachinus spp. It mixes chemicals for that hot, explosive defensive spray.
Exactly. Hydroquinone and hydrogen peroxide. It's an incredible biochemical weapon. The Charmander lineage didn't invent that concept from scratch.
They just refined it.
They took that pulsed defensive weapon from its pyrocystic gland and evolved it into a continuous, life-sustaining furnace.
So instead of a quick burst, you get a constant burn. That implies the fuel source has to be completely different, right?
Radically different.
We're talking about a flame that's sustained at, 400 to 700 degrees Celsius? That's hotter than my oven.
Precisely. You need a fuel that's incredibly energy-dense and has a very, very low flash point.
Yeah.
Our analysis points to a viscous oil we've termed pyrrolane.
Pyrrolane. And what's in it?
It's packed with volatile organic compounds, specifically terpenes, things like alpha pine, limone, compounds you'd normally find in, say, concentrated pine resin.
So it's synthesizing its own biological rocket fuel.
That's a perfect way to put it, yeah.
And the ignition, what makes it just burst into flame the second it hits the air?
That's the elegant part. It's a hypergolic reaction.
Like in rocketry, where two fuels ignite on contact, no spark needed.
Exactly. The pyrrolane oil is secreted through these tiny pores at the tail tip, and the moment it hits atmospheric oxygen and a specialized enzyme complex, boom.
Instant, sustained combustion.
A steady, controlled burn.
And this fire is non-negotiable for survival because this creature is endothermic. It's warm-blooded, not like a typical reptile basking in the sun.
Yes, the flame maintains its core body temperature. And to manage all that heat, the tail has this incredible vascular structure called the rete mirabile.
The miraculous net. I love that name.
It's a countercurrent heat exchange system. Think of veins and arteries wrapped tightly together. Heat from the superheated blood leaving the flame organ is transferred directly to the cooler blood flowing towards it. It's an incredibly efficient way to recycle heat back to the core.
So it's an adaptation we see in deep-sea fish, but used for atmospheric thermoregulation. That's amazing.
It's a stunning example of convergent evolution.
Which means the health of the flame is really a window into the creature's overall health. We've all heard the folklore, if the flame goes out, it dies.
Right, but what we're clarifying is that the cause and effect is reversed. That's a crucial point.
So the flame doesn't cause death by going out.
No. A bright flame means the metabolic engine is running smoothly, producing and pumping that pyrrolane fuel. If the creature gets sick or exhausted, if it experiences systemic failure,
it stops making the fuel.
It stops transporting the fuel. Then the flame goes out.
Yeah.
The flame's extinction is a symptom of collapse, not the cause.
That changes everything about how you'd study or care for one. So if the Charmander phase is all about maintaining this delicate balance, the next phase, Charmeleon, sounds like absolute chaos.
It's a biological war zone. We call it the crimson adolescence. The organism becomes hyper-aggressive, intractable.
And the reason for that is something you've called an endocrine storm.
It's a massive hormonal flood. We estimate testosterone levels spike somewhere between 400 and 600% higher than the juvenile phase.
400 to 600%. That's staggering.
It fits perfectly with the challenge hypothesis. You see these hormone surges driving aggression when an animal needs to defend territory, or in this case, survive a radical physical transformation.
So it's not just being moody, it's being chemically reprogrammed for aggression and defense.
Precisely. The hormones target the amygdala, They suppress fear. They lower the threshold for a fight response. It's a survival mechanism for a very vulnerable period.
Vulnerable because its entire skeleton is basically under construction.
At an incredible speed. We're talking about systemic, rapid ossification. The only real parallel we have in nature is the growth of deer antlers.
Which are the fastest growing bone tissue known, right? They can grow centimeters a day.
Up to 2.75 centimeters a day, mediated by that same combination of testosterone and growth factors.
Yeah.
Now imagine that happening all over the body.
The skull thickens, the claws calcify, the spine reinforces, all at warp speed. And that connects to your growing pains hypothesis.
It does. Bone itself has no nerves, but the membrane covering it, the periosteum, is highly innervated,
So as the bones expand that quickly, it's stretching that sensitive membrane.
causing chronic low-level pain. Now you combine constant pain with the 600% testosterone spike.
And you get a recipe for extreme irritability.
Exact. It's not rebellion, it's physiological distress.
That's such a critical shift in perspective. You can't just yell at something that's in constant pain while swimming in hormones.
You have to approach it with specialized care. We also see the skin color change, that deepening red.
Is that just for show? Part of the aggressive display?
It's an emergency adaptation. All that rapid growth generates a tremendous amount of metabolic heat. The deeper red comes from increased blood flow to the skin surface.
Ah, so it's trying to radiate away excess heat.
It's opening up thermal windows anywhere it can, getting ready for the even greater thermal demands of its final form.
Which brings us to the apex predator, Charizard. And this is where we hit the biggest wall, the great biomechanical paradox.
How does something this large and this heavy achieve powered flight?
It shouldn't be able to fly based on standard aerodynamics.
It can't. Not without two major integrated solutions. First, you have to solve the weight problem.
Okay, let's start there.
Pneumatic skeletal restructuring. The solid bones of the Charmeleon are resorbed and replaced with pneumatic bones. They're hollow, with internal struts for support.
Like we see in birds, evolving from theropod dinosaurs.
Exactly. It dramatically lowers the creature's overall density. But there's a second function.
Which is?
These hollow bones are connected to the respiratory system. It creates unidirectional airflow through the lungs, which is like supercharging the engine. It delivers the massive amounts of oxygen needed for flight muscles, especially at high altitude.
So a super light frame and hyper-efficient lungs. That solves the weight, but not the lift. It still needs a way to get that bulk off the ground.
And that's the most elegant solution of all. Gastric hydrogenesis.
Gastric, as in from the stomach.
It has a specialized organ derived from its digestive tract, the gastric hydrogen bladder. It basically houses a hyper-specialized microbiome.
Like the gut bacteria in a cow that produce methane.
Very similar, but optimized to produce huge quantities of low-density hydrogen and methane gas.
And instead of just being waste.
It's harvested. A biological valve diverts these gases into a large, non-permeable bladder along its back.
So it's a biological zeppelin. It's generating its own internal lift gas to achieve buoyancy.
It provides static lift. It makes powered flight energetically possible.
Wow, and that same gas bladder fuels the apex weapon, right? The fire breath.
Correct, and this is totally different from the juvenile's oil-based flame. This is a high-pressure jet of that flammable gas mixture.
A jet, so it's a weapon of force.
A kinetic weapon. The muscular walls of that bladder contract violently, forcing the gas up the throat, and then comes the ignition.
The spark, how does it work?
We hypothesize it uses piezoelectric tissues in its throat. The leading theory is piezoelectric enamel on its rear molars.
Hold on, it built a spark plug into its teeth, so it clicks its teeth together or clenches its jaw.
The mechanical stress creates an electrical spark, igniting the pressurized gas as it exits. It's a perfectly engineered biological flamethrower.
That is just unbelievable. But again, we're back to the heat problem. Flight muscles, internal combustion, it should cook itself from the inside out.
It absolutely would.
Yeah.
Lethal hyperthermia in minutes, if not for solution C, the wing radiator.
The wings themselves.
The patagia, the wing membranes, are massive biological heat sinks. They're functionally identical to an elephant's ears or a toucan's beak, but on a much larger scale.
So they're filled with blood vessels.
A dense capillary network. Overheated blood from the core is pumped out into the wings.
And the rapid airflow from flying cools it down.
Convective cooling, maximized by the huge surface area. It's incredibly efficient. This is why it prefers high-altitude, colder environments. The cold, thin air makes its cooling system work best.
It's just An incredible synthesis of solutions, from terpene combustion in infancy to a hormone-fueled growth crisis to an adult form using pneumatic bones and internal gas for flight.
Every single challenge weight, lift, heat, aggression is met with a hyper-specialized, elegant solution. It's a masterclass in evolution.
And for you listening, this has real-world implications. It's so important to remember that the Charmeleon phase isn't just rebellious.
No, it should be treated as a period of intense physiological distress. Its behavior is driven by chemistry and chronic pain.
And that leads to a final provocative thought about the adult Charizard.
It does. Its unique biology, this gastric hydrogenesis, means it's a significant producer of methane, a potent greenhouse gas.
And so it's a natural source of methane.
Yes, but it's also a system that can sequester that gas, pressurize it, and then burn it, often at high altitude.
A unique form of biological carbon management.
It's a complex interaction with the atmosphere that demands so much more study. This is an organism that doesn't just challenge our assumptions, it completely redraws the boundaries of what we thought was biologically possible.
A perfect place to leave it. Thank you for walking us through the absolutely stunning biology of this species. Until next time, keep digging.